last year, like, let me just tell you like a good background. Last year, I went on a cruise. I went to Nigeria 3 times, technically 3 times last year. I went to Jamaica, I went to Egypt, I went to New York about 3 or 4 times. I went to Houston, Chicago twice, and then I went to Tampa, and I came to Atlanta before I moved. So I flew to Atlanta before I moved, and then went back and then drove. And I went to DC. So here's, that was a lot, right? Yeah. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you guys for watching and being loyal, and thank you to everyone who has subscribed. If you're new here, welcome. It's your girl Chi. Hey. So today I just wanted to make a different video than I'm used to making. Usually I just post my vlogs, but it's just supposed to be like a get to know me, but also I want to teach you guys how to travel the world without breaking the bank. So let's do it. So a little about me. I'm 24, I live in Atlanta, and I have an apartment. So I just want to talk about like finances. I have an apartment, I'm not making 6 figures, and it's not like, or like any of these vlogs or anything, nobody's paying me, so this is not sponsored. So let's get into it. So the first thing is, last year, like, let me just tell you like a good background. Last year, I went on a cruise. I went to Nigeria 3 times, technically 3 times last year. I went to Jamaica, I went to Egypt, I went to New York about 3 or 4 times. I went to Houston, Chicago twice, and then I went to Tampa, and I came to Atlanta before I moved. So I flew to Atlanta before I moved, and then went back and then drove. And I went to DC. So here's, that was a lot, right? Yeah. So this year, I know it's only like November, so we still have a couple of weeks / month left in the year. But this year I went to Portugal, Colombia, Mexico, London, Houston, Chicago, Tampa, Orlando, Dubai, DC, and I'm still going to London at the end of the year, and I still have a cruise. So yeah. Oh, and I'm going to Miami too. So yeah, so a little bit left. That's all in December for my birthday. But yeah, so obviously clearly that is a lot of traveling. Especially with international trips. So here's how I do it. So for last year, how I went to Egypt was when I booked my ticket to Nigeria, I saw a ticket for a very affordable price, I think, it had a like 20-something hour layover in Egypt. I've never been to Egypt, so I used that as an opportunity to do it. And a lot of airlines, I use Egypt Air, so a lot of airlines, TAP Portugal, I believe Swiss Airlines, a lot of different airlines have that where you can stay a day. I think TAP Portugal even like pays people to stay a day. Like you can have like a 2-day layover with TAP Portugal if you wanted, and you could see, I'm pretty sure theirs is for Lisbon, so you could like see like a different country that you've never been. So that's what I did, and it worked out perfectly for me. One thing I do have is a travel credit card. So I have the Chase Sapphire credit card. I'm gonna put the link below in the captions. And I don't have the reserved, I have the preferred. So reserved, it comes like with almost like $100, like it's a lot of money for the yearly fee. I only pay $100 a year. I believe like they pay like $600 to $700. It's a lot. I don't even, yeah. So I just have that, and I get my points. Like I use it for my day-to-day expenses. Am I the best person with paying it off immediately? No. I do have a credit card bill. It's not crazy, but yeah, so I've paid most of it off, honestly, but I just sometimes I let it stay a little bit longer, if you know what I mean. But I don't advise that. So I advise you to pay your credit card off as soon as you can. Please be loyal to an airline. That is my second advice, or third advice. Be loyal to an airline. So when I travel, most times I'm traveling with United, Delta, or Southwest. Southwest is obviously more local, but or like maybe Mexico and Max International Southwest, but I don't even think they go too much far out of the Americas. But I'm pretty stuck on United and Delta. And even, for example, when I mentioned earlier I use Egypt Air. Egypt Air is a partner with United. So when I go on Egypt Air, I put my United number, so I get those points for those international travel. And why that is so important is that my ticket that I used to go to Nigeria / Egypt, one way I booked it solely on airline points. Coming back, that was my ticket there. Coming back, I did half airline points, half cash. that was how I went to Nigeria. I did not break the bank. Like, people, obviously, if you know how expensive it is, like right now, I think the tickets are about $3,000 for economy to Nigeria. I spent about $900. Yeah. So I don't even think I spent that much. Honestly, probably $900 with fees and everything, but it was definitely less than $1,000. So that honestly was a 10 out of 10. Even this year when I went to Mexico, my ticket there was solely points and vouchers. And then coming back, and I'll get into the vouchers a little later, and then coming back, I had a voucher and I paid cash. So yeah, honestly, be loyal to an airline. Be loyal. Like when I went to Portugal this year, I used TAP Portugal. They're partners with United. So I put my United code and I got my United points. So now when I want to fly, like, you know what I'm saying? So be loyal. And then you could book a lot of these airlines through United and use those points if you wanted. So be loyal to airlines. It pays out. When I also, with being loyal to airlines and having an account, like when I went to DC last year, it was a work trip. So I didn't pay a dime for it, but I got my airline points. It was a Delta flight. And I got my airline points. So anytime you do work trips, anytime you do anything like, make sure you have an account and get your points. So if people travel for work, please do that. Because I travel a lot, I've also had things happen. So last year when I went to Orlando, Southwest forgot my bag in Atlanta, and they said, oh, if you come back, we'll give you $200 voucher. Best believe I came back. No, it was a $300 voucher. Best believe I came back. Originally it was $200, and then the lady was like, actually we'll do $300. I came back and I got the voucher. And on my way back from picking up the bag, I had already bought my ticket to Mexico. This was when I went in August. I had to cancel. I literally canceled the flight and used that voucher to buy that ticket. So I only paid the fees. Now coming back, I used Southwest to Mexico. Coming back, I used United. And what I did was I went on United last year and they took my bag at the gate and were like, oh, we're gonna check it in. And I picked up my bag and it was a crack on it. What did I do? I emailed corporate. Corporate gave me a $200 voucher. So that's what I used in addition to another $250 for my ticket back from Mexico. So yeah, please, 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 closed mouths do not get fed. So please, if anything happens on a flight, speak up for yourself. You deserve it. These airlines have money, so speak up. Okay, when I've had times where they've forgotten my bag or my bag didn't come for like days, I expensed everything that I had to buy while that bag did not come, and I got my money back. Speaking of, this year when I went to Dubai, I was using United, and United, what they did was they canceled my flight and rebooked me with Emirates. But when I got to the airport, Emirates told me the ticket they booked me on didn't come with bags. But I did have a ticket with bags with United originally. So long story short, I had to pay cash. I paid about $600 for the bag. Yes, I paid $600 for my bags. And when I came back, I emailed United and I emailed Emirates. Emirates refunded me for the money that I spent. And United as well gave me a voucher for that amount. So right now as we speak, I have a $600 United voucher waiting for me for whenever I'm ready to travel. And I got points. Exactly, closed mouths do not get fed. There's more details to the story, but that is just in the essence of trying to keep this video as short as possible. That is kind of what happened. So always speak up for yourself. You always want to speak up, because if you don't speak up, these airlines will not say anything. Like, I've had Southwest flights delayed for a certain amount of time. I went to corporate. What happened? Corporate gave me a voucher. Like, always speak to corporate. I will say, in my experience, most times when these issues happen, United and Southwest are very good with vouchers. Delta doesn't really give vouchers. They give you airline points, which at the end of the day, I guess if multiple things happen, it stacks up. But like, it'll probably be like 2,000 airline points, which you can't really do much with. But that is just my experience. After you book a flight, keep watching those prices, right? Because, for example, Southwest, for example, I can book a flight today and it was $400. I've never paid for a $400 Southwest flight, I will add. But let's say it was $400. In 2 weeks, that flight could drop to 200, even 100. And when you go and you do change, because Southwest lets you change up until like, you can cancel up until like probably like 30 minutes before the flight. Like, they're really good about that. And you can come back later and change that flight to the 200. Depending on the ticket you got, they might give you a refund, but I've never gotten an expensive ticket. I get the cheapest Southwest ticket. So that means that when I can't get a refund for the money that I spent, I would just get $200 back. Yes, it sucks because $400 has left your account, but think about it, $200 ticket and you get like 100, you get 200 or whatever amount back. That is the ticket for the next trip. So when that trip comes, girl math, it's free. Think about it. So when that trip comes, girl math, the next ticket is free. I don't know if I'm making sense. So you want to prioritize and save for what you want and budget for what you want. So being that, yes, I travel a lot, but I don't really eat out. I don't drink, so I never really spend money on alcohol. I never spend money on eating out. Like, my grocery bill is very low, so that's one way I do it. And now that I'm paying rent, I had to cut back on like things like shopping and like certain things. Not that I'm depriving myself, I'm just trying to be financially responsible for the things that I want. So I do recommend like prioritizing and figuring out your life situation. And also, like, you don't have to go on every trip. Like, I've been invited on so many group trips and so many things like that. It's good to know when to say no and really know what you can afford. But the next tip I want to add is be flexible. For example, Portugal this year, I haven't posted the Portugal vlog. It is coming. I went to Portugal towards the end of September, so I think September 25th, around that time. And originally we wanted to have like a Europe summer like Portugal. We wanted to go to multiple places in Europe, but we ended up sticking on Portugal because when we looked at it, the tickets were ridiculous. Like, the prices were ridiculous. So my friends and I decided, like, okay, we're a little bit flexible, let's see. So we found that September was actually cheaper. So we did September. Early September is more expensive than later September, so we were flexible in that and did September. And we thought it was gonna be cold. Actually, it was pretty warm when we got there, so it wasn't too bad. So yeah, like I mean, we took a light jacket, but most times you ended up being hot. I think it was at night that it was a tad bit chilly, but it was pretty fun. But it wasn't warm enough to, like, for us at least, to go like swimming or anything. We went on a boat like tour, like a wine tour and sunset tour, so that was really nice. So we were able to get on the boat, so you know, it wasn't bad. But if you want like more warm water situation, I guess you could go earlier, but we didn't really want that because we are used to going to places like Jamaica, going on all the tropical places. So yeah. The next tip, if you want to do a cruise, I did go on a cruise last year and I have another one coming this for my birthday, and I'm planning to go on another one next year. I love cruises, all inclusive. Everything you need is on the boat. When you get to the islands, you don't really got to do too much. 10 out of 10, honestly. Get a travel agent. For the cruise last year, we did not get a travel agent, but this year I did. And turns out, like, a lot of travel agents, and I didn't even know this, they get deals on a lot of different things, but you need to book early. Like, as soon as you realize we can do a cruise, or I want to do a cruise, you need to book that early. So the earlier you book the cruise, the better. So I do recommend, and highly recommend, getting like a travel agent. And I'm not saying like an independent, like a person, like an entity, a company. Like, and I will also tag the link of the person that I use for my birthday cruise in the captions, and they get deals. So get a travel agent. Those are like my quick tips. I can go deep and I can answer questions in the comments if anyone has one. So please like, comment, subscribe, and I hope to see you guys later. And I hope all of you stick around for these amazing adventures. And we're gonna have like so many different things on this channel, but this is just a start for a lot of amazing things. Thank you.